Hello, podcast 33. Jeremy, what's up?
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up?
Today we have our very most valuable.
Is he the most valuable player?
Yeah,
he's even wearing the hat.
Well,
no, you might be.
MVC,
There's
most
a lot
valuable
of,
client.
Yeah, there's a lot of them actually.
There's a lot of them.
All of our clients are valuable.
Right, so we only have MVCs, most valuable clients. But so we are honored and privileged. Thank you for sharing the love, sharing the inspiration. You have you have done awesome work, and we're going to share that in a minute. And again, you're worked out with us. You've what's it called? Over the internet?
Yeah. We started off with online coaching, right?
We did.
So that's always a little bit more challenging, too, than face-to-face, and David knocked it out of the park.
Knocked it out.
I had a good coach. I had a good coach.
Oh, thanks, buddy. You're talking about me, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I don't know.
And a meal plan client.
Meal plans, coaching.
And a meal plan logistics helper.
I try. I try to help out delivery man. You know, I got to get that MVC somehow, right?
Right. So thank you for everything. We appreciate it. So let's jump right in. Any quick updates? Oh, we've got our new moss wall.
Moss wall for those who are watching on video.
Nice.
Moss wall. Yep. We got mirrors. We got another one coming.
So
we added a landmine in the gym.
Landmine.
Yep.
What's that? Hex bar.
Yeah.
More plates.
More clients. Everything's great. Going on a trip here. We'll talk about that on the next podcast.
So next podcast, Jeremy is going on ayahuasca part 3.
Well, it's the second time I'm going, but we have the part 1, which is we talked about before the trip. Part 2 after the trip.
After the trip. So this is part 3.
Part 3
before the second trip.
Before the second trip.
Just quick tease for the next podcast? What's the goal this time?
Oh, it's always for self-improvement, always.
What kind of self-improvement? Self-improvement is such a broad topic.
It's mind. It's correcting the programming from the mind from birth, right? And we're not always conscious of what we need to fix because it's so deeply rooted into the mind. We don't know it's there. So again, plant medicine takes us to that subconscious, deeper level that we can't necessarily access in this plane, in this conscious level.
Right. Again, we're just teasing.
For the
next podcast, but what do you feel, or what are you more open to this time? What do you think the experience is going to be like versus your first time?
There's no way of predicting it. The intention is important, what you set. So my first time that I drank the medicine, my intention was just love. It was one word. I said it in the group, and it was love. And that's what ayahuasca gave me. It showed me how we're all connected in one, and that we're here just to manifest and to create this. Love is the highest energy form. It's not necessarily the kind of love that we always associate where I love you, you love me, or I'm in love. No, it's even higher than that. So ayahuasca showed me that on the first time I drank it. This time I'm going to go in, I don't know. I think it's going to be for more purification, if that makes sense. So the mind creates these imperfections in the body, and we can release them through correcting the mind. So it's not always the most pleasant thing, but I'm ready for it. I've done Tepes Guite since then, and again, we can talk about that on the next podcast.
Yeah,
another
definitely.
tease. But in between the first ayahuasca journey and the one I'm going on, I did 3 ceremonies of Tepes Guite, which is much faster into the journey, but shorter of a journey. So ayahuasca can be 4 to 6 hours. Tepes Guite is like 15 to 20 minutes. But because you smoke it instead of drinking, it goes straight into the blood-brain barrier. So it connects you to that higher level of consciousness right away. And I had some purification in those ceremonies. Again, we'll talk about it more in the next time. So It's all for soul growth, mind growth, body growth, How do we become a better person, human? How do we let go of things that hold us back from achieving what we ultimately want?
Okay, so David's not going on this trip. When is David going?
I don't know. You might.
I don't know, man. You got me intrigued now. Maybe going this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. March 4th, I'm going to. Not this Friday, the following Friday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where do you go for?
I'm going to Soul Quest in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, nice.
Yep, staying in the country. And then in September, I scheduled a Tulum, Mexico ceremony retreat.
Whoa.
Okay. Yeah.
That's where it's literally uprooted. It's there.
Yeah, that's where they do it there because of the energy there. That's kind of where it all started from.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yep.
Okay, David. So let's talk pre-ayahuasca.
Yeah,
pre mind completely opening and getting rewired and becoming so connected and centered. So let's talk about you. But quick background, quick. Who's David?
So Dave is a family guy with an ex-wife. So I've been through a divorce. I have 3 kids. I work in the accounting field. I've been an entrepreneur. I've been working for the man per se.
Right.
I love poker. I love traveling. I love my fantastic, amazing new wife, who is pretty much the reason why I'm here. So I'm giving her props too.
Pretty much.
Yeah, probably the only reason that I'm here.
Nice.
And you know, I've been happy.
If she doesn't keep you on your toes and kicks your butt, who will?
Well, exactly.
Well, now you will.
That's always
but you had to get there.
I had to get that motivation. But yeah, so I about to kind of. Do you want me to go into the story?
Yeah.
Let's
please.
do it. So,
let's do it.
About last year, September, August, I was really feeling like the worst that I've ever felt in my entire life. You know, in terms of sluggishness, and my weight was. I was near 300 pounds when I started this journey.
Oh my God!
And I just, you know, every once in a while you have the revelations as a bigger person. Oh, I got to do something. I gotta lose weight. But then you don't know. You say you stop eating for a day or two, and you kind of go back to it because you're like, oh, screw this. I can swear, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think too many children listen to this.
What?
Yeah. I don't think too many children listen to this.
Right.
So I decided that I had to do something differently, and I had to make a bigger change in my life than just saying I'm going to do it. I had to take the next step. So Colleen, my wife, she knew Jeremy from years back, and I saw the post that he was putting on Facebook, and we decided to reach out. And I remember we were sitting on the back deck, and we were talking to Jeremy, over what was it, FaceTime, Zoom, or whatever it was. And we decided that we were going to, he was telling me all about him. He made a transformation. He actually showed me the transformation he did with you. Right. And I was like, that's me, man. I said, I'm huge right now. I said, I need to do something. And it wasn't so much that I had to start working out at that point. It was I had to fix my eating habits.
Right.
I enjoy, gaming with, my cousins and stuff like that. So I would be up till 11, 12, 12:30 in the morning, and I'd just be sitting there eating, not even paying attention. I'd be having snacks. I'd be having, potato chips, ice cream. I'm a sugar guy, for whatever it is.
Bag of nuts.
Everything, man.
Right.
And I'd be eating all the way till 12:30, and then I'd wake up and I'd start eating again around like 11. Mm-hmm. And in the past, I had done intermittent fasting. And I did it for a few months right before my wedding, and then obviously went on the honeymoon and got off track and then never went back to it. Right. But I enjoyed the way that I felt then. I lost probably 20 pounds then, and I gained it all back since. But got on the meal plan with Jeremy, and then we went on weekly coaching where, we touched base every single Thursday, and I remember, actually giving up my lunch hour to have that conversation at work with Jeremy, because to me, I had to make it an important step in my life.
Right.
So I did it right in the middle of my day, and just having Jeremy there to bounce ideas off of, talk through the meal plan, talk through struggles, because it happens.
Yep.
It's not just all butterfly kisses. So
right.
My one buddy would tell me, and to have that coach there to say, hey, what do you think about this? Or I really had to fight the urge last night, and to get kind of those techniques in my mind was great. And another example is, obviously I mentioned I play poker. So we were going to the World Series of Poker in October this past year, right in smack dab in the middle of this life-changing moment. And I said, Jeremy, I know I'm going to struggle, man. Like, what do I got to do?
Right.
And he's like, well, plan ahead, get your snacks together. And I did that. And when you're sitting at a poker table for hours, you could probably, get off track.
Right.
So we made sure I had my book bag and I had
especially if you're winning a lot or losing a lot.
Right, exactly.
Highs are high, lows are low, right.
So we planned. I made sure to kind of pay attention to calorie count when we were doing that. I still, maintained the water and the coffee and, that kind of stuff, where instead of getting popped like I would normally do if I was just sitting around a poker table for 12 hours.
Sure.
And I made it through the trip. So, and those are the things that I got personally out of my coaching, with Jim.
So he gave you tools to the daily tools, the daily thoughts in your head, right, were planted, the daily seeds. Did you feel accountable? Did you feel like I got to come back to Jeremy and tell him?
Every Thursday. And it's funny is I remember another circumstance. I didn't have I play a game on Monday night, and they cooked dinner obviously there. And I knew a few days beforehand that they were going to make my favorite meal, chicken paprikash.
Yeah.
And I didn't eat lunch specifically because I was going to have one plate at the poker game, and I was going to keep back. My wife goes, I'm telling Jeremy's not going to let you have chicken paprikash. So I reached out and I said, Jeremy, can I have one plate? I didn't eat anything else. He's like, all right, you can have it as long as you don't eat anything else and you stay within sort of the plan. So
I want to hear from you guys. What causes this accountability? You guys know each other, but not well.
Right.
You're doing this online. Why does David feel so accountable that he doesn't want you to know about this cheap meal? He wants to. What creates that accountability?
His decision for change. He made the decision for change. That's why he hired me, number one. And that's the biggest reason.
Right.
Number two is action. He takes his lunch break off to talk to me. So now he's double accountable, not even to myself. He thinks he's accountable to myself, and he kind of is, but you've actually become more accountable to yourself because you made the decision, you took off lunch to talk to me. Why in the world would you want to mess up those two things for yourself? Not even, you know what I mean? Yeah, and then of course, when you're on the phone or video conferencing, talking for 60 minutes, we talk about other stuff too, not just food. So yeah, he doesn't want to disappoint me because he understands this is my business and we're all about results.
Right.
So again, and that's why we qualify our clients, right? We want to make sure they're in it, because if I'm pouring my heart and soul and talking from my heart to you for 60 minutes and taking my Thursday to talk to you as well,
right.
I don't want you to just, I'm going to do this and then go cheat and not tell me. I'd rather you tell me so we can figure out why, because there's a reason, obviously, why we decide to just binge eat or whatever it is, drink or whatever it is.
And I think one of the other big things, like, I'm not just, accountable to you, was the journaling part that we started, was because now I'm accountable to myself and my thoughts, but I'm also then, reiterating that and kind of talking it through it, out loud, which is important. Because a lot of people they want to internalize everything, and we are our own worst enemies. We talk. What was 80% of our our thoughts?
Negative thoughts, right? Before COVID, right?
Right before COVID.
Eric and I ran the numbers, and what are they? 92.6%.
84.3% of statistics are made up, right?
So you do the math.
No. I literally looked up the stat today. Cleveland Clinic did the study. We have 60,000 thoughts a day. 90% of those thoughts are repetitive.
Right.
80-something% of those 90% are negative.
Yep, from the day previous, and it just compounds.
From your life previous.
And I put it in my I can't remember how it compounded, but in a week, when I did the calculations, it's like you're close to a few 100,000 negative thoughts that you continually tell yourself on a day-to-day basis. Right. So you got to get it out one way or another. And a lot of people want to internalize it, and they think nobody else is going through like what I'm going through, or they don't have the experience that I did. Right. but we all have our own experiences that we can kind of talk through, you know. So,
sure.
So what you're saying is, if you want to fix your eating habit, you actually have to fix your negative thoughts.
Yep, absolutely. I had tons of negative thoughts. I was a negative guy.
And are you aware of the negative thoughts that you're having?
Now,
before, no way.
Most
people don't even realize.
I would have negative thoughts, and it would fester for weeks. About anything. You know, if it was my relationship, my work,
compound. It would get even worse. Yeah.
And now, I've gotten better where I could recognize a negative thought in a few minutes. Right, and then you could switch it, and you tell yourself a reaffirming thought. So. It's pretty amazing that you got to put the work in. Like, it's going to take. You don't just happen overnight.
Right.
You can't just say, "Oh, well, I'm gonna take this negative thought and turn it into a positive thought." It takes work, and you have to continually work at it. So.
Right on. No, good job. So today is February 24th.
Today is February 24th.
A couple days after someone's birthday.
No, day before. Tomorrow.
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 Happy pre-birthday.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how do you feel?
I feel amazing. So to kind of go back, when I started this journey, like I said, I was near like 300 pounds.
Right.
My initial goal was we had a trip to Vegas for a family event in December, and that's what I told Jeremy, why we had 3 months. And I said, my goal is I want to be 250 by the time we go on this trip from September to December. And I hit it. I hit that first goal.
Right.
Yeah, but
and I think it was like, I think I was like 249 by the time when we checked into the hotel.
That's amazing.
And then I decided I was going to, check and I like stretch goals. I like goals that are, higher than normal people and such. So my next goal, which is what
I want to tell you, I want to quickly stop on that. Just hitting a stretch goal is a big deal. I don't think I've ever hit it.
Right.
I keep stretching them. And I come close, which is I hit goals, but I don't ever hit a stretch goal. So you hitting a stretch goal is a big deal.
And what's great about a stretch goal, right, is a lot of people want to set goals at a level where they know they can attain it.
Right.
But the fact of goals is that they should be beyond what you
think
that you can attain today. Because even if you fail at a goal that's a stretch goal, you're going to be failing ahead of where you would have been if you set your original goal.
Right.
So, I love stretch goals. I love things that are going to make me work. So what I did was for my birthday, because my birthday's on 225.
Right.
I wanted to get down to 225.
Right.
Now, I failed at that goal, and I didn't hit 225, but I was 230 this morning. Nice. So, I'm 5 pounds off, which is still, another, I lost, 20 pounds? From December till now,
and 75 total.
Yeah, and then nearly,
pounds,
it's crazy to think. The guy that I lost. I was at size 42 pants. I had to buy 38 pants for the trip. Now my 38 pants that I have on now are loose, so it's like now I go get more pants.
Man, so I know that drill. I went from 40, starting to become tight.
Yeah.
To 32 now, and they're a little loose. I think I can get into 30s,
nice.
Which is crazy. That's high
30s?
school.
That's crazy.
That's middle school. I think I haven't 30s? Tried it. 32s are loose now. I was 30s in middle school. Okay. Yeah, probably.
I was probably the same then.
Right.
It's crazy to think.
Jeez, what'd you guys do to get up to 300?
Well, we stressed
a lot of
internalized all our feelings.
Exactly.
Enjoyed food way too much,
and stacked all our chips on bad habits and stress and all the stuff that we're now moving away from. Thank God.
And it's
changing those thoughts changes everything.
It's definitely a lifestyle change for sure. Absolutely.
What else changed?
I can say I feel better emotionally too. I don't beat myself up about my weight. I actually look forward to getting up and walking around. I don't feel short of breath when I'm walking up the flight of stairs in my house, which it was one of those features. When I was like, something's wrong. I'm way too heavy now. Back in September, but now I walk up the flights of stairs. I don't feel short of breath. I feel happy to just walk around. It's good when people notice all the work too. just people that you wouldn't think notice that you lose a lot of weight, but they say, "You lost a lot of weight." And I'm just like, "Yeah, I have." and you smile and you feel good, but you let people know that it takes a lot of work. It doesn't just happen overnight.
John Panette, funny comedian, big guy. He actually died of a heart attack, but he was 400 pounds and lost 100 pounds, and it was all happy on stage. And he's like, "Yeah, my friends come up and they're like, 'Yeah, I see it in your face.'" He's like, "I lost 100 pounds. How big was my face?" So that's one comment per what you just said. Another one was like, you feel lighter. You feel like you can walk up the steps. You feel like you can get out of bed and walk without difficulty, and that's such a big deal. And I used to always tell my kids too, like every time I'd run with them somewhere, of course I'd be out of breath or go skiing, etc. And I'd be like, "Well, you put on a 45-pound weight on your stomach and see what you see what happens.
Tell me how you feel, right?
Tell me how you feel." But you've dropped almost 2 45-pound weights. I mean, that's a lot.
It's a ton.
It's a ton.
When you ask like what changed too, obviously relationships better with the wife.
Sure.
You're not fat anymore.
She's happier.
So things work a little bit better than
what are you saying?
Than they used to. Sometimes.
There's other benefits.
There's other benefits than just looking good, and your wife, you're actually saying, "Wow, you look good." So
that's
a good thing.
And touching you a little different.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Okay, there's kids listening.
Yeah. She just means rubbing my bum.
I meant the pat on the back.
Right.
I meant the pat on the back. But no, cool. What about because it's happened for me and for Jeremy, the ripple effect? Are other people like in your life, in your business life, joining the revolution? Or?
Yeah, I actually have a friend who is now doing the meals, for a while, and she was kind of on the fence for a little bit. But I think once she saw the full change that I did, she's like, "All right, I'm just going to take the lead."
Right.
She was on the fence, and I said, "You got to do it." I said, "It's not that. It's going to be
makes
difficult
it easier
at first, but yeah. But when you have somebody there that's helping you out and making your meals, who knows that experience, like I don't know crap about food, right?" So to have Jeremy and to have your whole team here that knows the food,
right, and
can process it and put it together the right way,
right.
That's to me like the biggest bargain that I can get for the price of the meal that I'm paying, per meal.
Right. So that's a great testimonial. Thank you.
You're $400. But she, a couple other people, have noticed and have asked me like why, how,
right?
And I explained that I'm doing the meals, I have the coaching, and it's a huge shift in your mindset by just doing all that together. So,
right. Has work been affected? I know, man, you're juggling a lot now. So a job, consulting. Got a new podcast. What's the podcast called?
It's Memorable Life Podcast. I just started it beginning of the year. We're about 4 episodes in.
Right, I listened to them. You're great.
So I would say work. I feel more attentive, productive, and I feel like I can get a little bit more done throughout the day. I'm obviously sluggish like I used to be.
Why do you think that is? So you're talking about actual engagement at work is better.
Engagement and just my mind, right? I feel like I'm more open in the morning, especially waking up, right? Yeah, I can wake up and especially when we're working from home, I can walk downstairs, get my cup of coffee and be, ready to hit work, in 15 minutes.
Do you feel because you've slept better? You feel because you're like all of the above, or what?
I think it's a little bit all the above, with the weight for sure. I don't, it doesn't take my body as long to get refreshed in the morning.
Right.
And as well as, I'm not waking up feeling like shit. So right. My mind's already positive right there, which it wasn't before. So
right.
And then, it allows me to share the experience and to share to people that you have to work hard if you want to get done what you want to get done.
Right.
It's not just going to happen easy. So, and to be able to shoot that experience back to them when they try to give feedback or whatever, and it's like, all right, come on, let's find a solution. I don't want to hear all the negative stuff all the time, because you hear negative. A lot of people, they want to use negative as a reason why they didn't get something done. Whether it's a negative
a lot of excuses, right?
Yeah. So it's like I had excuses for years.
Right.
How do you think I got the 300 pounds? I was like, it'll come off sometime.
I don't have time. I don't have to cook, right? I don't have time to work out. I don't have time. But here you're having 12 hours of bad sleep a night and staying up late and snacking and yeah, it's all BS. And we're focused on corporate wellness, and one of the examples we give is what employee do you want to show up on a Monday morning? Right. One that went out drinking and ate like shit all weekend, stayed up till 1, 2 in the morning eating, had bad sleep, wasn't engaged with his health or family or whatever else, just caught in that rat race, waking up at 7:30 and walking in the door at 8:01 and had a mess, or the guy or girl that worked out all weekend, was engaged with the family, didn't stay out late, got great sleep, woke up at 5:30 in the morning on Monday, journaled, meditated, ate well, had their cup of coffee, and showed up at 7:50.
Man, that sounds like an amazing person right there.
So I'm just drawing the two comparisons, and which you just did with your story, and that's why I kind of probe the questions because it does everything. Yeah, it's perfect example of how when you feel like you're firing on all cylinders, or at least a lot more cylinders than you used to, you're just a different individual at work, at home with your family, and to yourself, and the ripple effect of inspiration to everyone that you come across. So, absolutely. Talk about your podcast.
Yeah, so Memorable Life podcast. I started it. I want to make an impact, and just share positivity, right? There's so much negative shit going on in this world. Pardon my friends if you're under 18. That I just wanted to share experiences that I've lived through, right? And we all have our own experiences, and to me, I feel like there's not enough positive ones out there.
Right.
So I decided that I'm just going to start sharing, and also I got to the idea, one of my goals is doing more for my children, and I'm not always going to be around, and my grandkids, hopefully I get to see them, but we never know what happens tomorrow. So what I wanted to do is start creating something that they could always look back on and be like, yeah, that was my dad, or that was your grandpa, right? And listen to my experiences that I had through life, and hopefully, it'll make an impact on the world. And it's great to get positive, feedback from people like on Facebook or that stuff like that. So, and I also every day I try to share a positive thought on my Facebook page.
I like most of them.
Most of them. I
love. No, the ones I see, I do. They're great.
That's the other thing. Facebook sucks when it comes to showing everybody your post, but we won't get into that. That's another 4-hour topic. Right.
They don't want positivity.
No, they don't want positivity. Negative sells, man.
Negative sells. Yeah.
So, I'm looking forward to it.
Positive's more fun.
It's definitely more fun. Absolutely. Positive is way more fun.
Yeah. Look, we got moss panels on the wall. We didn't have that with negativity. With negativity, we had 0 moss panels on the wall.
Love it. The podcast, you can find it. I'm on Spotify, Apple, and Anchor is where I do all my recording right now because I'm just starting off. So I don't got all high-tech stuff like you do. So Anchor's a great app if you're trying to start a podcast, but they have all like the transition music, and they make it easy as point and click, and then it'll post right up to all the different podcast places too. So I'm there.
No, you're a one-man show.
I'm a one-man show right now. Yeah,
we've got some help, thank God, but we did it. We started the first few. Yeah. We did the first few without.
That's what it is. You just have to start. It doesn't
we
even
did the
matter.
First few without microphones.
Of course, we just did it with our iPhone cameras. Yeah. Actually, we just went live in the first couple. Remember, we did the Facebook Live.
I do remember.
So there's 0 excuses for anything, really.
Right.
Those couple of small steps forward is all you need, and then in a year you look back and you're a mile down the road.
Exactly.
I love the legacy part. The fact that the fact that you are worried about 2 generations, 3 generations of how they look back at the family, because how well do I know my grandfather? Not that well. Right. I don't know my great grandfather at all. What I wouldn't do to watch a podcast of what my great grandfather's thoughts were, especially if they're positive and And man, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. I guess we're doing the same thing.
You guys are leaving one too?
Yeah, Every one of us has a book inside. Every one of us.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Amazing books. But some have books upon books upon books.
Yeah.
And that's the point. But no, interesting point regarding legacy. So now they're working on technology where you download your social content, all your data, and they actually build an avatar of you.
Come on.
Yes, a digital avatar. I got to look it up and I'll share it with anyone that
stuff. Like, is that what we're talking about?
It's metaverse stuff, but it's to the point where it'll have AI built in and everything about you. And if you upload videos and audio and all this stuff, it'll be your voice. And
I don't know how I feel
and future generations will be able
what do you think this is?
Well, I guess, but then they control it, right?
But future generations can then talk to you. So your great-grandson can talk to his great-grandfather.
And get responses.
Responses on how he would
That's the game that we're
talk.
In. What do you think this universe is?
We are living in the Matrix, aren't we?
We are living in a game.
Yes.
We are living in the game.
Totally a simulation.
No, I was listening to a podcast when we were running, and I'm just like,
wow.
Right when you thought they thought of everything, like that's
they bring
that crazy. Yeah. It's sick.
Well, you know what that reminds me? There's a TV show out that has that where it's like it's sort of like that. You download into like this digital universe, and your friends and family can still interact with you. Yeah, there's an actual show that's like that.
Yeah, not surprised.
That's what they're working on. No. So consulting business. So you consult businesses and business owners?
Just a couple small friends that are mine. They have a couple small businesses, so I help them out, doing their accounting, giving them some business feedback, things like that.
Got it.
Another one of those things that when I was in between jobs, I needed obviously income, so I decided, hey, you got to take matters into your own hands. So the one guy owns a tool truck, and he literally just started out 5-6 years ago now, and the guy went from about 6 figures of income. He's now going to probably hit $500,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and he works his ass off too. So
sure.
It's just good to kind of see that too. And again, you surround yourself with that sort of friends and sort of your mastermind group, and it works. It works.
And my favorite analogy in business too is everyone thinks that guy went from 0 to 500,000 in a straight line.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Then there was no straight line. There was a lot of work, and it was all over the place, and a lot of ups and downs, and consulting help, and blah, blah, blah.
And some people think it happens just like they flip the switch, and they're at 500,000.
Right.
And, I'll be all honest. I used to think, way old me used to be like, that's me, and I'm going to be that way tomorrow. Right?
Right.
No.
There's a delay response when you flip the switch. So you can flip the switch and make the decision, right, but there's a delayed response. So that's it.
And you have to let the right thing, which I'm learning, which is new to me, which I never did. Patience, letting the right things happen so you're not jumping into stressful situations, which are all bad, right? And stress equals cancer. Period. I never believed in that until now, when I realized, and a big help of Jeremy, because I'm still sometimes flying and want to do this and Jeremy's like, oh God. Right. And it's happened. It's happened in the right way, with the right amount, in a comfortable way that we're not stressing, and everything's still happening great.
It's one moss panel at a time. There you go.
Literally.
Okay, I'm done with that.
I was going to say, you really like those muffins.
We really do, because we should have hung them like months ago, and we just hung them yesterday.
It wasn't the right time.
Yeah, see, now you feel accomplished, and now you can talk about them on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. You're the first to be on the podcast with the panel.
Yes.
So there you go. On your birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday.
Losing all that weight.
David, what's the next stretch goal, and we're going to have you on when you hit it? What?
Honestly, my next stretch goal is, my biggest one is poker. So okay. I want to win a 6-figure prize in a tournament. Never won a 6-figure. I won a couple 5-figure prizes. Right. But now my next goal is to hit 6-figure prize, and I want a bracelet. I want a World Series of Poker bracelet.
You know what? what I say about poker. Maybe I read it. Maybe I say it's 50% skill, 50% patience, and 100% luck.
Yeah,
because you need that river to come through once in a while.
Every once in a while, you need a river. But getting it, and what I've learned, and me and Jeremy worked out too, is that there is so much out there to study and learn.
Right.
And you have to be willing to study and learn. That's one of the things that I never did. I was like, I'm just going to go in and I'll be fine.
Right.
But there's so much more theory and there's so much more, selection and knowledge. And it's not just, can I read the guy or not? Because there's so much resources out there that a lot of people are learning. So you have to grow with it or you're going to be left behind. Same thing with the world.
Right.
If you're not willing to grow and adapt and change, the world's going to pass you by and you're going to be left sitting on the curb like,
and then that person says I'm unlucky, just like in poker. You win. Let's say first place, you got lucky, but if you don't put the work in, you'll probably lose all that money within 3 to 4 years, right?
Yeah.
A good poker player who's putting the work in, who's got the right mindset, might not hit a first place tournament, but he'll make money in the long run.
Yeah, I agree. And sometimes it's not all about first place, right? It's
exactly. That's my point.
You just got to be willing to, work, continue, work.
Yeah, improve every day.
That's what I'm trying to do. So
that's it.
No, you need to play a lot of hands. You need to read a lot of books. You need to study for sure. Okay, what's next for you, man? What does the rest of this year look like? So we're in February. So you've got 10 months. What does this year look like?
So at the end of this year, I'm definitely going to be close to 205, 200 in terms of weight.
It's like 100 pounds?
Yeah, it is. It's insane. I set probably 4 or 5 goals. So, one of the things is I want to take my wife out on a date every month. I've hit it so far.
Nice.
The first 2 months. I want to spend more time being more engaged with my kids when they're around. So I definitely done that. The first few weeks, we're actually going to planning a summer vacation with the kids, which we haven't been able to do in a few years.
Nice.
So, and then in terms of poker, it's going to be having a profitable year. I want to make about $50,000 this year. That's my goal in poker.
Nice. So
at the end of this year, that will happen, and just improvement, self-improve, improve every day. And I'm in December 31st. I'll look back and I'll be like, "Holy cow! Remember that podcast?"
You'll
lost way.
You'll have to listen to it in December 31st.
And then I'll have my own. We'll have probably 45, 50 episodes of mine.
When are we on your podcast?
Oh, we're gonna get you on for sure.
Okay.
Let's shoot.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we'll shoot for sometime here in the next month or so. You guys will definitely do it.
So
I'm in.
Jeremy will be more enlightened.
Jeremy's always enlightened.
Even more enlightened, which is amazing.
You don't glow about him.
It's all a game, guys.
I don't have lost points, don't worry.
So lastly, talk about meal planning, because you're one of our original gangsters.
Yeah, I am.
OG, who's ridden our business waves so far and brought in some more clients. Thank you.
You're
appreciate that. But talk about how that's what it's meant to you, how it's changed your cooking, etc. experience.
Well, one, I don't cook, which is why I called you guys. But I started off at seven days a week, lunch and dinner, because I was going to do the intermittent fasting. So I intermittent fast from noon till 8. So it's like perfect to have 2 meals right there. And I started 7 days a week, and then
you eat from noon to 8.
Noon to 8.
Fast from to noon.
Correct. 8 to noon, and then so that's 16 hours with just water and black coffee.
Right.
Those first 3 months, if I didn't have the meal plans, I wouldn't have made it. Outside of the trip to Vegas, or even the trip to Vegas, because we drove out there, I made sure I had meals until we got there.
Right.
Because if without those meals for those 3 months, I probably would have been still eating like crap. I was eating fast food all the time because, again, like I said, I don't cook.
Right.
And my wife and I were on busy work schedules, so she didn't really have time to cook either.
Right.
So having the meals there, and they tasted freaking phenomenal, man. Like I'm going to be honest, I was skeptical, right? Or skeptical. That's not the word. Skeptical.
Yeah, that's fine. You can use that here.
I can make up words.
Yeah, you can.
Skeptical that they were going to taste good, right? Because I didn't know what was in them. I didn't know if there was going to be all the foo-foo stuff. And my wife's been trying to get me to eat most of the stuff that's in these things for a while. And I was like, I'm not going to eat that. But then, like the first few weeks, I'm just like, man, this stuff tastes good, right? And I didn't miss the other food that I was eating because it was all processed and fake, and I didn't realize that.
Right.
And just the taste of the meals was great.
Right.
And then, as I've kind of progressed, I'll take the kids out for dinner and different things like that. And so I'm down to 5 days a week now, still 2 meals a day, because those other meals I'm either out with the wife or with the kids, but I'm paying attention.
Completely mindful.
I'm being mindful of what I'm eating instead of before.
Right.
I would pick a meal. Now I would look at that same meal and I'm like, oh my God, that thing's 3,000 calories.
Right.
And I'm just like, that's like 4 meals. That's like 4 days of food.
Right.
And I would eat it before. I didn't care.
Right.
I didn't look. And that doesn't count what else I ate that same day. But now I'm mindful. I eat more, salmon, because salmon's what healthy for you in a lot of places. And if it is higher calorie, I'll make sure that I'm only eating half, so I can break it in half. But I'm also trying to just make sure that I'm not eating things that I know will be processed.
Right.
So, and then in between the meals, so my big thing is I like to snack. And I told you before, I have a sweet tooth.
Right.
So I'll have the meals, and what's great about the meals, I do the low carb. They're anywhere between 300 and 500 calories. So there's 1,000 of my 1,700 goal. So I have 700 calories to snack throughout the rest of the day.
Right.
What I found is, there was the Hidden Valley kind of like biscuits, so they're made with the almond butter, so they're healthier for you. So I would have one of those after lunch and one of those after dinner. Now I'm got like Italian ice cups, which are 100 calories for a little cup, which is great. So you just got to find what works for you, because what works for me isn't going to work for everybody.
Right.
And then I'll try to save calories like it's like a game, right? Where it's like, I can get the 1,700 or 1,800. Let's try to hit 1,400 today,
Right.
That's, I think, how
and at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's calories. It's eating whole foods versus processed garbage or fast foods, the lowest quality of food that's out there. And again, Jeremy could talk about the stressed proteins and all this toxins that you're putting into your body versus, again, chef-inspired, delicious, healthy meals that taste great. No one's saying sacrifice. No one's saying eat, stuff that you don't like. No, eat amazing. Even add a meal to your day. Another 500 calories isn't going to do anything. In fact, I found myself snacking way less and just adding another meal, and I just feel healthier and better, and like I'm not hungry, and again, it's like delicious. It's hard for me to even go to a restaurant anymore. I'm serious, because we just know what they put in it, and though a restaurant will throw butter, sugar, bad oils. It might be better ingredients, but it's still. They're trying to make it as delicious as possible and not worrying about health, etc., concerns like we are. But, keep it up.
Awesome job. My dude, awesome job.
Awesome job.
Well, I had a great support system.
Yeah.
Colleen's great.
I was talking about you.
Oh, okay.
Colleen is great. I was talking about you, and then you bringing meals. We would meet every week.
Right.
You did all the work, though. You did all the work.
A few minutes of an inspiring chat.
Yeah, it's good. It's golden.
Well, thank you. We will have you back on for sure soon.
Absolutely.
And keep it up.
After I win that World Series of Poker bracelet,
well, then we won't be able to afford you.
Oh yeah.
No, we'll still.
You'll still remember
with the bracelet. With the bracelet.
With the bracelet on.
Okay. Well, I'm sending you all the love and luck possible.
I appreciate that. It's definitely fun to be on. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we touched somebody's life today. And I like
That's
that.
it.
I end all my podcasts, because we're all going through something, right? And no matter what, it's temporary. We're always going to make through. Just keep pushing forward. Keep your head up.
Yep.
And it's temporary.
Well said.
Well said. Thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
We'll end it on that.
We'll end it on that. Peace.
Thank you, guys.
Everybody. Take care.